What's up, everybody? On today's Unbiased Hard Take, got a good lineup for you guys today. Been seeing a lot of quarterback rankings, so we're going to rank the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. Then we're going to talk a lot of NBA, 76ers, whew, what a mess. And then we're going to talk about the Lakers-Mavericks game that happened last night. So we'll start in the world of the NFL, because I've seen a lot of talk and a lot of hype on the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of rank my top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL and then give you reasons why. And again, of course, you all know we got facts here to back us up. So with that, we'll get started here. Number one's obviously Patrick Mahomes. We're going to go ahead and get that out of the way here. Any other answer's wrong. I mean, this man, 3 rings back-to-back in a Super Bowl, MVP in all of his Super Bowls, 2-time league MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, 6-time Pro Bowler. I mean, he's an all-time great Hall of Fame quarterback if he retired today. So, I mean, the only quarterback to beat him in a Super Bowl is Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts. No active quarterback in the AFC can do it. So he's the best quarterback in the league, hands down right now. So, well, that's out of the way. Now, here's the big one. Number 2, Jalen Hurts. It seems like I've seen a lot of hate on Jalen Hurts. I don't understand why. I mean, Super Bowl win versus Mahomes. Lamar Jackson can't beat Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow can't win the big game. He has a Super Bowl ring. Yeah, he beat Patrick Mahomes, and we'll get into Joe Burrow here in a minute. But where's Joe Burrow's Super Bowl trophy? He doesn't have one. So then you get into the fact that he's been to 2 Super Bowls, almost beat Mahomes in the first one. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson can't even seem to get into 1 Super Bowl. Been to 2 Super Bowls, playoffs every year, consistency across the board. People say, oh, he had under 3,000 yards passing. Who cares? So, here's the reality with Jalen Hurts. In 4 years as a starter, always in the playoffs, 2 Pro Bowl appearances. I mean, 4 years, double-digit rushing touchdowns. He's one of the best rushing quarterbacks of all time. He has 85 career pass touchdowns and 55 career rush touchdowns. He's on pace for a Hall of Fame career, and there's really just no doubt about it at this point. I mean, we combine all of his touchdowns. He has over 30 touchdowns. We got to consider his running and passing. And here's the thing about Jalen Hurts. He's the first mobile quarterback to win the Super Bowl. I mean, I have it right here. Michael Vick, one of the all-time great running quarterbacks, didn't win a Super Bowl. Cam Newton got the Super Bowl, didn't win. Colin Kaepernick was a good running quarterback, made the Super Bowl, didn't win. Lamar Jackson can't get the Super Bowl. Josh Allen can't get the Super Bowl. Warren Moon, going back in time, didn't win a Super Bowl. Randall Cunningham, Donovan McNabb are all mobile quarterbacks that did not win Super Bowls. Russell Wilson, kind of, like, if you want to count him as a mobile quarterback back in the Seattle days, was the last one to do it. But to be a true running quarterback threat in the National Football League, and it's not just tush-push. People are going to say, oh, well, a lot of his rushing touchdowns are the tush-push. But mind you, like I have the stats here, 4 years of double-digit rush touchdowns. It's not just 1 or 2 years. This is before the tush-push, guys. So he's an elite quarterback. It's been consistency down the board. It's not just been 1 year, 2 years. The man's a Super Bowl champion. He's a Super Bowl MVP. It seems like the quarterback winning the Super Bowl was the biggest thing they could do to cement their legacy, and it is. That's why we knocked Dan Marino for not having one. Winning a Super Bowl is the most important thing for a quarterback. That's what everyone says, and Jalen Hurts does it, but now it doesn't mean as much. Where's Lamar Jackson's Super Bowl trophy? Where's Joe Burrow's Super Bowl trophy? Where's all these elite quarterbacks that are supposed to be ahead of him Super Bowl trophy? Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, C.J. Stroud. They don't have one. They just simply don't have one. So Jalen Hurts is number 2 on this list. Any other answer is wrong. People say, oh, it's Saquon Barkley. Don't give me that. They were making the playoffs and made a Super Bowl without Saquon Barkley before. Saquon Barkley just made them over the top and were able to finally win that Super Bowl. And let's not forget that defense had a lot to do with it too. Tom Brady had a lot of good defenses in the past, so does Patrick Mahomes. So let's not act like that it's a bad thing that they have talent around him. That's what Super Bowl teams do. It's not a one-man show in football. One person is not going to win a Super Bowl. It's not happening. That's all I'm saying. Jalen Hurts, number 2. Number 3, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, this season, yes, people are going to say, oh, he didn't even make the playoffs, but a winning record, and we have all the numbers here. Like I said, Lamar Jackson, where's his wins versus Patrick Mahomes? I mean, Lamar, people are going to say, oh, he's a 2-time MVP, all that. Yeah, Josh Allen won the MVP this year. But I'm looking at Joe Burrow here. I mean, he 4,918 yards, league high. 43 touchdowns, more than Allen and Jackson have ever had in their whole careers, not just this season. More than they've ever had in their career. Was a comeback player of the year 2 times now. So, I mean, he's been to a Super Bowl, actually beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Something, mind you, Josh Allen cannot do. He craps the bed every single time they play the Chiefs in the playoffs. Every time. It never fails. Joe Burrow led the NFL in passing yards, passing touchdowns, only AFC quarterback to beat Mahomes, been to the Super Bowl, 2-time Pro Bowler, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They just need more they need a defense to actually play, and they don't have that. They put all their assets into their offense, and it has not worked out for them. And T. Higgins has had some injury history in the past as well. And I understand Joe Burrow's injury history as well, but until Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, I mean, all the stats point to Joe Burrow being better than them anyway, on top of that. Because, I mean, I'm looking at Lamar Jackson, 60.6 in the playoffs, mind, not regular season. I'm only going playoffs, which is where quarterbacks cement legacies. Lamar Jackson, 60.6% playoff completion percentage. Jamarcus Russell, who's one of the worst quarterbacks to ever play the game, had a career percentage of 52.1. That's not horrible off from Jamarcus Russell territory. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And mind you, Josh Allen now, let's get into him a little bit. 0-4 versus Mahomes in the playoffs. 4-1 in the regular season, so it's not like he can't beat him. It's in the playoffs. Joe Burrow's beating him. Josh Allen hasn't. Happens in the playoffs. The stats for all of them are great. What can you do in the playoffs? Joe Burrow beat him. Till Lamar and Josh, they can't be a higher on the list. Sorry. Then, number 4, Lamar Jackson. I'm not a Lamar Jackson hater. People want to say I'm a Lamar Jackson hater. JB can confirm this even before this podcast. I was a fan of Lamar Jackson coming out of Louisville. I thought he was the best quarterback in that draft class, and that's proven, really be true. 2-time league MVP, 4-time Pro Bowler. He led the NFL in touchdown passes in 2019. Very well could have been the MVP this year, you could have argued. The Ravens were always in the playoffs with him. He's one of the best electrifying quarterbacks I've seen in a long time. He's an all-time great talent. But like I said, he's 60.6% completion percentage in the playoffs. Never been to a Super Bowl. Can't beat Mahomes. Like I said, Lamar Jackson's a great quarterback. There's 32 teams. Being the 4th best quarterback is not a horrible thing. You're in elite territory at that point. So to say Lamar Jackson's an elite quarterback, all 5 of the top quarterbacks are elite. All 10 of them are. To have a top 10 quarterback out of 32 teams is impressive. So to say I'm a Lamar Jackson hater is totally wrong. In the regular season, he's great. Probably the best quarterback in the NFL, quite frankly. Better than Mahomes in the regular season, probably. But again, it comes down to the playoffs. That's where quarterbacks cement their legacy. That's why we recognize Tom Brady is better than Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning had all sorts of great accolades and stats. Dan Marino, too. So it's all about championships. It's about what you do in the playoffs and how you excel your team. Number 4. Then number 5 is Josh Allen. He did get something off his back. He does have a league MVP award this year. Great stats. Like I said, 4-1 in the regular season versus Mahomes, but chokes in the playoffs every time. And Josh Allen's great. Like I said, to be the 5th best quarterback's not a disrespect at all. He just now got his first league MVP. Lamar has 2. But again, he hasn't beat Mahomes at all in the playoffs. It's not been like once or twice. It's 4 times. 4 times. And then go 4-1 in the regular season. Again, regular season elite quarterback. Elite quarterback, great. He's an elite quarterback in general. But can't get it done in the playoffs. And you need to get it done in the playoffs. Same argument there, but I'm ranking Lamar a little higher because he has 2 MVP awards in the regular season. Because neither one can get done in the playoffs, so I'm going off regular season at this point. Then number 6 is Matthew Stafford. I know he's a bit older, and there's talk about where he's going to play this year. But he's also a Super Bowl champion. He's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. The longevity of Matthew Stafford, his Hall of Fame career, actually led the Lions to the playoffs. And that's impressive in and of itself. But to actually have some facts on him, he's top 10 all time in all major stat categories for a quarterback still playing at an efficient level. This season, led the Rams to the playoffs. First year, leaves Detroit. They win a Super Bowl. So wherever he goes, I think he'll end up staying in LA personally. He's still a top quarterback. He has that ring. You got to respect that ring. Again, legacies are defined what you do in the playoffs. It's been consistent playoff success and championships since he left Detroit. My disrespect on him when he was in Detroit was great stats, can't do the playoffs. Similar narrative to Lamar and Josh Allen, but those things can change. The only reason they're not higher on the list is because of his age, obviously. So number 6 is Matt Stafford. Then number 7 is Jared Goff. Jared Goff's a guy I've always felt was sort of disrespected in the NFL. When the Lions and Rams made that trade, I said that the Lions actually got a good quarterback. He just now also led the Lions to their best season in franchise history. Jared Goff was 6th in total QBR this year. I mean, they're back a Super Bowl contender. He had him do a game before the Super Bowl. He's been in the Pro Bowl quarterback. He's outstanding, and he got the Rams to a Super Bowl also against the Patriots, so let's not forget that. So he's had playoff success. He just needs to get that championship to put himself on that top 5, in my opinion. But I will say Jared Goff is probably the most underrated quarterback in the NFL right now, and that's hands down. He's top 10 quarterback. He is my number 7. And then number 8, I'm going C.J. Stroud here, and people are going to kind of shake their head at that one maybe a little bit because, yes, his stats were down a little bit, and I have him here regressed to a 20-12 touchdown interception ratio. Still 3,727 yards. That's decent numbers. But let's consider this. They still won their division. They still got a home playoff game. They've won playoff games both years under C.J. Stroud. And then they ran to Kansas City. They just got to get over that hump in the playoffs. C.J. Stroud's still a very good young talent, still a playoff season, still had a pretty good season, even statistically. But again, it's what you do in the playoffs, and he seems to perform best under the bright lights. So C.J. Stroud, with his second year at number 8, they're going to be fine. His stats will be fine. Don't read into all that. It's about playoff success and team success. Then moving in at number 9, I have Jordan Love here. Jordan Love also kind of a sneaky stat here I have. Find it here, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you get when you do the old school type of thing. So, when it comes to Jordan Love, here's the only quarterback that's better QBR than him with total QBR, not passing QBR, total QBR. Is Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. So he had a top 10 total QBR, and that's sort of a sneaky stat because his statistics also were sort of down from the year before. 26 total touchdowns, rushing and passing included, 11 total turnovers, 3,389 passing yards, so still eclipsed that 3,000 number. And again, the Packers went from 9 wins his first year as a starter, made the playoffs, won a playoff game, to winning 11 games this year. Still good stats, a good performance. Total QBR was good. Stats were also a little down because, mind you, he did miss those 2 early games early in the season after that Brazil game where he was injured. So he did miss a couple games where Malik Willis played well against some crappy sort of opponents at that point early in the season. So his stats would have been a little better. You're looking at more about 28 touchdowns, 3,600 yards had he played in another game or 2. So still a very efficient season from him. Made the playoffs, just ran into Philadelphia. And we all seen what Philadelphia did to everyone they played in the playoffs. Obliterated Green Bay, obliterated the Rams, even though they played them sort of well. Then obliterated the Commanders. Take command. Hey, there's one for you. It's been a while since we've done that one since they've lost. And then, of course, obliterated the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So, Jordan Love's still a top 10 quarterback. Playoffs both years. Youngest roster in the NFL both times. No true number 1 receiver. But I'm picking Jordan Love at number 9. And then number 10, I'm putting Jaden Daniels. The reason I don't have him higher on this list, yes, best rookie season of all time. Hands down. And it's not even close. Rookie season, rookie of the year this season. Now, here's the thing. Will he be the next RG3 or the next Andrew Luck? Hopefully, without the retirement early in his career, obviously. But, I mean, a game before the Super Bowl as a rookie, I've never seen anything like that. Never heard of anything like that. Was a Pro Bowler this year. Over 30 total touchdowns. Under 10 total turnovers as a rookie. A game before the Super Bowl with the Commanders. A team that's been made fun of for years. Going back to the Redskins days in years. And just made fun of and horrible. To take that team under a first-year head coach, that's really, really impressive. But that's a small sample size. I'm not going to put it above these other guys here because, again, he hasn't made a Super Bowl. He hasn't won a Super Bowl. And these other guys at least have 2 years or more on him with sustained success, with decent statistics and team success, getting to the playoffs, showing they can win playoff games. Every quarterback above him has playoff success. So, again, I need another sample size. I expect he'll be higher on this list in the future. That's all I'm saying. And then a bubble quarterback that I really want to shout out, here's Baker Mayfield. To really see him revitalize his career in Tampa Bay, winning a playoff game there. Again, lost this year, but still great statistics from him. Good to see him and Mike Evans' connection, winning the division down there in Tampa every year. So really good to see him find a home. He got paid. He deserves it. He's a borderline top 10 quarterback. You could make an argument for him. I would not be upset if you took really anyone from 7 to 10 out of this list, which would be Goff, Stroud, Love, and Daniels, and flipped Mayfield. I wouldn't disagree totally with that. So Tampa Bay has a franchise quarterback. I do want to mention him as a respect quarterback. He didn't make my list. I wouldn't. I would take the other 10 above him. But Mayfield deserves some respect there. And that's my top 10 quarterback list. What do you guys think? Is it fire? Is it trash? Let me know in the comments down below. Y'all were very generous in the comments with JB's video. We appreciate the love. And again, comment all our videos. We really appreciate it. So we're going to switch over to the world of the National Basketball Association. And I'm going to start with the 76ers because speaking of fire trash, the 76ers have been nothing but an absolute dumpster fire. And I have a lot of statistics here. As you guys have seen me flip through these all podcasts long. Paul George, it's been a disastrous signing since he's showed up. We'll start with him because we have a whole list of just garbage for this entire season. It's been nothing but a skivvy toilet. That's what my son would say. So Paul George, only 3 games with 30 points or more this whole season he's played. There's also been a stretch where he did not have 20 points for a month. That's abysmal bad for a guy who's probably going to end up in the Basketball Hall of Fame. I'm going to say that again. There was a stretch where he did not score 20 points. And that happened for an entire month. Wow. And I've watched some film on him actually recently. Has he actually regressed? There's really no burst in his step. He can't score off the dribble. And the stats are there like I just gave them to you. I mean, he seems to get stonewalled like he hasn't before. He can still get buckets, just not at the rate he used to. He's definitely not a number 1 option at this point in his career. And, I mean, he's 34 years old right now and has 3 more years under contract with them. He's an aging superstar, not in his prime anymore. He's exited his prime and has entered the later years of his career, in my opinion. And hopefully he doesn't turn into one of these like Chris Paul kind of guys where it's kind of sad to see what they've become because it's just not what they used to be. So hopefully it doesn't turn into something like that. I like Paul George. I've seen him play in real life. I've seen him come back. That game actually was there in person when he came back against Miami. Me and JB were both there from his injury returning in the regular season. So that was really cool. He's a great Hall of Fame player. But this 76ers team, all signs point to the dumps right now because Joel Embiid's no different. He's also under contract through 2028, 2029. And mind you, he's injured right now. And I actually have sort of a not a stat, but a quote from him to where he said that he needs to get his knee under control. What do you mean get it under control? You haven't got it under control your whole career. You missed your first 2 seasons in the NBA because of injury. And now you're injured again. I mean, he's actually, statistics are there that he's actually almost a 50% to play. Embiid said, quote, "Fix the problem. We need to fix the problem." Like, bro, you've missed 47% of your career games. That's a real statistic. 400 games missed. Hasn't even played 500 career games. We're literally at an almost 50% rate to where Joel B will not play. Injury prone. Never going to win a championship. And one might argue his one MVP shouldn't have been won because really Jokic should have won the MVP. People were just tired of voting for him. It was wear and tear on Jokic. LeBron went through that for years. So, and mind you, the 76ers as a team now, I mean, yeah, Maxi's balling. And I'll kind of talk about that a little bit. I kind of feel bad for Maxi because he's under contract again through the same year, 28-29. Max is balling an average of 27.1 a game, but that's the only bright spot on this team that's not winning either because their current record is around the same location as teams like the Nets, Raptors, and Hornets. They're not even in the play-in right now. And mind you, currently they're actually getting, as of this recording right now, I have it up here. They're actually getting their ass kicked currently by the Knicks. It's just sad to see what's happened to the 76ers. I guess at least they have football to celebrate in Philly. So now we're going to shift again also to the NBA, because last night the Lakers and the Mavericks played for the first time since the Luka and Anthony Davis trade. And I said that this trade could be good for both teams, and it has not ended up being good for both teams, because Anthony Davis played one game for the Mavericks and got hurt in that same game. And that's the most Anthony Davis thing in the world. And you never want to laugh at an injury, because I hope Anthony Davis comes back. Basketball's better with him. This game would have been more interesting with him there, obviously. So hopefully he gets back, but it's almost comical, because it's the most Anthony Davis thing ever. I said that the Lakers, go back to my video, I'll quote myself on this, go back to that video when the trade happened, that the Mavericks could win this trade in the short term, that pairing up Kyrie, who's also an aging superstar, with Anthony Davis, who really had been healthy most of the season before this, could win a title now or the next year. But now, I mean, with him already injured, and now Dallas staring at a 31-28 record, Kyrie balled last night with 35.7 boards, 4 assists. But, I mean, without Anthony Davis there, they ended up losing this game again 107-99. And the Lakers might have already won the Luka trade, because, I mean, Luka went out there and had a triple-double casually at 19 points, 15 boards, 12 assists, and a plus-minus of 8. I love the plus-minus because it really shows how efficient you are as a player. So Luka went out there and balled, triple-double, efficient all the way around, and maybe it's a little bit of a motivator. Like I said, I think that the Mavericks could have won this trade in the short term, but the Anthony Davis injury really, really, really ruined that for them. And I thought the Lakers, maybe pairing Luka with LeBron, could sort of get Luka motivated. LeBron's work ethic can rub off on him, things of that nature. And LeBron really took over the game in the fourth quarter last night, 27 points and a double-double for him and rebounds as well. So just a great performance from the Lakers. They're 35-21 right now, and they're looking maybe like a title contending team. I mean, basketball's better than the Lakers are good, people say. So Luka Doncic, triple-double, and LeBron James, double-double. And they get the win last night in a primetime game that a lot of people were watching, myself included. So, again, that's really all I got for today's Unbiased Hard Take. Again, what do y'all think of today's episode? And please be generous. Give us a like on Facebook. Link to that will be in the description down below. Subscribe here and follow us on Spotify. Again, links to all that will be in the description down below. We got a lot of good content coming out. Me and JB got a lot of good things coming. And that's all I got. Until next time, boiler up. Let's go Heat. Go Pat, go baby. Until next time.